1 mile an hour, it sounds like it's an easy thing, right? But this is an animal that is absolutely beyond what people are thinking when you think of the traditional 1 mile an hour. Can you explain that for us, please?
It truly is an endurance event. Running or walking 1 mile an hour every hour for 24 hours is what we do, Scott. So it's a total of 24 hours, 24 miles. And if you think about that, if you're doing a 12-minute mile, so you run for 12 minutes and you think, I've got 48 minutes to rest. And that 48 minutes into the next mile, and then another 48 minutes into the next mile. And I'll be honest, after about 8 or 10 or 12 of those, the 48 minutes gets a little shorter and a little shorter and a little shorter. And by 6 o'clock the next day, the end of the event, you almost feel like you're running a mile without stopping. But it's an endurance event. It's a mentally and physically fatiguing thing to do.
We're going to start in about 60 seconds. Just to kind of give you some background of how this goes. We will run 1 mile at the top of every hour for 24 hours. How many of you are planning on doing all 24?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. About a week and a half ago, I had a friend down in Virginia who took his own life. Was a law enforcement officer. Didn't know it was happening, didn't know it was coming, and he felt that there was no other way out. I heard something not too long ago that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. There are resources, there are people to talk to. All you've got to do is look at somebody to your left or your right. If there's somebody here you don't know tonight, say hi to them, get to know who they are. If just for a moment, to know that we all have somebody that we can count on. I want to thank everybody who helped put this event on. This event, Aubrey obviously has turned this into her senior project this year, has put an awful lot of time and energy into not just the outreach aspect of it, but this evening, the next 24 hours. And so I want to thank Aubrey and give her a round of applause. There are some games to play. We have t-shirts for sale. There's some literature from the Mental Health Association in Delaware. All of the proceeds of tonight's event will be going to them and will be benefiting both teenager and veteran suicide prevention programs. They take that money and put it directly into those programs. And you can learn more about those if you want to talk to Aubrey or I. Or there's also some business cards with some contact numbers on there so you can get more information on those projects and programs. Maybe you want to volunteer and help in other ways. Maybe you're in need of talking to somebody, and that's okay. We're also here to tell you tonight it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to be moving at 1 mile an hour, but just know that you got to keep moving, even if it is only 1 mile an hour. So, thank you very much for being here. Are we ready? Yes. Go!
It's 1 mile an hour for 24 hours.
24 hours.
You all right?
We're okay. 1 mile is not hard. 2 miles is not hard. It's the 8th mile. It's the 12th mile. It's the 15th mile. It's the mile in darkness. But there'll be people next to you. There were people next to us all last year. The lowest turnout we had for any 1 mile was 14. And so that's 13 other people standing next to you. And that's what this is all about, to know that there are people still standing next to you even when it's dark.
So they can still get here.
Just get here. Just get here. Come out, even if it's just 1 mile, even if it's just a walk, if it takes you 30 minutes, we'll be here for you.
So when I did this, folks, I'm telling you, like Andy was saying, that time between the run is very event-filled, and you're trying to recover from your last run and then get ready for your next run. And that time, Andy, gets shorter and shorter. And I was getting more anxious. I was suffering from, sleep issues. I was having food issues, feet issues, leg issues. I was really worried about the next mile because I didn't know if I had enough left in me to complete the entire 24 hours. But that was designed that way, right? To mimic the anxiousness that some folks suffer from every single day. And boy, oh boy, you guys did it extremely well.
And you hit the nail on the head. By the way, I enjoyed following you because that was during the pandemic years.
It was,
and it was
right.
done virtually. We still had people participating virtually during those 2 years where we couldn't get together and do it together. And there was a solidarity to that, which is the point to this. That time in between the run, the darkness in between, the anxiousness waiting for the next mile to get there. That's when people have conversations. That's when people turn inward. That's when people have the opportunity to think about that next mile and getting to the next mile. And that's the point. It's 1 mile an hour. If you're feeling like you can't get there, you feel like it's the darkest it's ever going to be and there's no point to the next mile comes. And there's somebody there to walk it or run it with you.
Guys, tell me all about it. What happened?
Overwhelmed, Scott. I don't know what else to say. The turnout here, the financial support, the moral support, the stories we heard from people. I'm in awe of the things that people were willing to share with us, the conversations that were started, and that was the point to today. That was the point to the last 24 hours, was to have these conversations start someplace.
What'd you learn about yourself?
I learned that I'm a listener as well as a speaker. I learned that there's community here, and you have to be willing to listen, and you need to be unafraid to ask, "Are you okay?" and willing to listen to the answer when it comes back.
Aubrey, what'd you learn?
Well, in terms of running, I thought I wasn't gonna make it on like the 5th one, but we're done, so I guess you can if you just keep going.
You can if you just keep going, and getting the conversation going can lead you to some places that you never expected, right, Andy? There was a gentleman that showed up. Tell us a little bit about that. Don't be specific about his name.
A gentleman came this morning at 5 a.m., was a veteran, had served, probably had some demons in his closet, wanted to come out here and participate in this. He had planned about it for a couple of weeks, had a sleepless night, decided he wanted to come down and be part of this, was not a fan of being around people, but he felt that he had the need to be here. Came down, he ran 1 mile with us, and just that quickly he was gone. But the courage to come down here and do that, after living what I could only guess is a solitary life, that's the type of stuff they start the conversations.